Good morning, students. As I have started with the discussion of 1 mark questions on the molecular basis of inheritance, we shall continue the remaining question as in the previous class I have stopped at 66th question. The next question is 67th question. Okay, so 66th question, 7th question, which enzyme is involved in transcription of 28 sRNA in eukaryotes? So remember here, S is going to stands for small. Okay, so that enzyme which is involved in the transcription of 28 sRNAs, that is small ribosomal RNA in eukaryotes, is RNA polymerase 1, and this RNA polymerase 1 is only involved in the transcription of 28 sRNA, 18 sRNA and even 5.8 sRNA. So these questions, even they are important for your NEET bits also. Next, 68th question, mention the function of RNA polymerase 1. So the RNA polymerase 1 helps in the transcription of the formation of rRNA. Next, 69th question, mention the function of RNA polymerase 2. The RNA polymerase 2 helps in transcribing the heterogeneous nuclear RNA. 70th question, mention the function of RNA polymerase 3. The RNA polymerase 3 helps in transcribing the tRNA, even 5 small rRNA, and even it helps in the transcription of the small nuclear RNA. Okay, so remember, the process of transcription takes place inside the nucleus. That nucleus is consisting of the RNA polymerase 3 forms, 1, 2 and 3. So they have the division of labor. The division of labor means they have divided among their works. One RNA polymerase is going to help in the transcription of one form of RNA, second one, third one. Like this, they are going to divide the transcription process to form the three different forms of RNA. Why those three different forms of RNA? Because those three different forms of RNA are involved for the process of translation in the eukaryotes. Next, 71 question, what is hnRNA? HN stands for heterogeneous nuclear RNA, which is considered as precursor of mRNA and consists of both exons and introns. hnRNA is the precursor of mRNA, which consists of coding and non-coding sequences. Next, 72 question, what is capping with reference to post-transcriptional stage in eukaryotes? So in the eukaryotes, once after the completion of transcription, so there in the once the transcription is completed, so there will be formation. There immediately the matured mRNA is not formed. Before the mRNA is formed, there will be formation of the immature hnRNA. So that hnRNA will undergo the post-transcriptional process that involves three processes called as capping, tailing and splicing. So in this question, they have asked only what is capping with reference to post-transcriptional stage in the eukaryotes. So that capping is defined as the addition of unusual nucleotide. That unusual nucleotide is methyl guanosine triphosphate. So where it is being added, the unusual nucleotide, that unusual nucleotide is added at 5' end of the hnRNA. Once again I'll repeat, the capping is called, is explained, or it is defined as the addition of unusual nucleotide, that is methyl guanosine triphosphate at the 5' end of hnRNA. Next, 73rd question, what is tailing with reference to post transcriptional stage in eukaryotes? So the tailing is defined as the addition of adenylate residues. How many adenylate residues are being added? 200 to 300. Where it is being added? At the 3' end of the hnRNA. At the 5' end, remember, the methyl guanosine triphosphate is added. At the 3' end, there will be the addition of adenylate residues. How many adenylate residues are being added? 200 to 300. I'll repeat the answer. The tailing is defined as the addition of adenylate residues at the 3' end of hnRNA. Next, 74th question. Define splicing with respect to the post-transcription stage in eukaryotes. So after the completion of the transcription in the eukaryotes, it will be forming the hnRNA. So that hnRNA will be consisting of both coding sequences and non-coding sequences. Means some will be having the genetic information, some regions will not be having the genetic information. The regions which are not having the genetic information, we call it as introns. The regions who have carried the genetic information, they are called as the exons. So because of this, we call it as the immature RNA. So this hnRNA cannot be involved for the process of translation. So because of that reason, there will be one more additional step is being involved in the process of transcription of eukaryotes. It is called as splicing. So what is going to happen in the splicing? The splicing is defined as the removal of introns and joining of the exons. So all these non-coding sequences are removed and all the coding sequences are being joined. So this process we call it as a splicing. Next, 75th question. What is a genetic code? The genetic code is defined as the sequence of nucleotides in DNA and RNA that determines the amino acid sequences in proteins. Next, 76th question. What is a triplet code? Triplet code is 3 nucleotides together will be coding for one particular amino acid in the protein synthesis. So the the triplet code is 3 nucleotides which codes for one particular amino acid during the protein synthesis. Next, 77th question. Name the Severo-Ochoa enzyme. So that enzyme is polynucleotide phosphorylase. 78th question. What is the special property of Severo-Ochoa enzyme? That is polynucleotide phosphorylase. So what is the function of what is the function of polynucleotide phosphorylase? So this polynucleotide phosphorylase helps in polymerizing RNA with defined sequence in a strand. Means it is going to help in the enzymatic synthesis of RNA. Next, 79th question. Name the enzyme which is helpful in polymerizing RNA with defined sequences in a template independent manner. So that enzyme is again called as polynucleotide phosphorylase. So for in which topic you people have studied this question, that is the triplet code severo coenzyme. This is being explained under the topic that is the genetic code and mutations. Okay, next 80th question. Name the initiator codon. The initiator codon is AUG. Next 81 question. Why AUG is considered as initiator codon? The AUG is considered as initiator codon because it always codes for the methionine. 82 question. What other function the initiator codon performs in addition to initiating translation? The initiator codon, who is initiator codon? That is the AUG. It is going to have one more function. What is that function? It is going to act as the start codon so that it can initiate the process of translation. Next, 83rd question. Name the amino acid coded by initiator codon. The initiator codon is AUG. So that AUG will be coding always for methionine. Next, 84th question. Mention terminator codon. So the terminator codon, remember what is the use of this terminator codon? The terminator codon means the terminator codon will be present on the strand of the RNA. So that terminator codon, it stops the process of translation. So that's why they are also called as nonsense codon also. So those codons, why they are called as nonsense codons? Because the triplet codons which are present in which are considered as a terminator codon are not going to code for any of the amino acids. So what are those terminator codons? 3 terminator codons are there. What are those? UUU, UAG and UGA. So these 3 codons are said to be as nonsense codons and they are considered as terminator codons. Why they are called as terminator codons? Because they terminate the process of translation. Next, 85th question. Why UAA is considered as terminator or stop codon? Okay, so you can go for even 86th question also. Why UAG is considered as terminator or stop codon? See even 87th question also. Why UGA is considered as terminator or stop codon? So here 85th, 86th and 87th question, they have mentioned the nonsense codons and they are asking why they are called as stop codons or terminator codons. Because they are not going to code for any amino acids. So when they do not code for any of the amino acid, it stops the process of translation. Next, 88th question. Why genetic code is referred to as degenerate? The genetic code is considered as degenerate because one amino acid can be coded by more than one codon. I'll give one example. Take CUU and UUA. CUU and UUA are the two different codons, but they are going to code for the same amino acid, that is leucine. So because of this, we consider the genetic code to be as a degenerate. Next, 89th question. Why genetic code is said to be universal? The genetic code is said to be as universal because these codons are going to code for the same amino acid in the bacteria also and in the human being. What is this meaning? Means the bacteria, what it will be having the RNA, that RNA which are going to carry the code on genetic code. So those genetic codes will be coding for the same amino acid, and the same genetic code, if it is present in if not, if it is present in the human beings, in the human beings also it will be coding for the same amino acid. Take the example of triple U, that is UUU, that will be coding for always phenyl alanine in the bacteria also, and even the in the human being also. So students, the remaining questions I will be discussing in the next class. Thank you.